Everyone wants the same thing in FND recovery, to be symptom-free. No more tremors, no more episodes, no more shutdown, no more vision impairment. But if that is all you're chasing, you're actually aiming too low, because recovery is not about getting rid of symptoms. I know it sounds weird. It is actually about getting your life back. So in this video, I'm going to show you what real FND recovery looks like, why focusing only on symptom management keeps families stuck, because I've seen it one too many times too, and what true progress actually means when the brain and body are retraining. And if this kind of clarity helps, so then you're desperately wanting to get better, please make sure to like this video and subscribe, because I post new content every week to help families rebuild function, confidence, and calm through real FND recovery. And thank you so much in advance. Now let's go. Hi, my name is Dr. Lee. I'm a pediatric health psychologist and the founder of Teen FND Academy, which is an online coaching program to help teens with FND and their parents, just like you guys, to get their lives back through retraining the brain and the body, connection, restoring function, and getting their lives back. And I do this work because I believe recovery from FND, regardless of how long you've been having this FND condition, is 100% possible. And I've seen it one too many times. If you want to get started with some of the same tools I teach inside my program, then make sure to download the free family guide that is just made for you. It's in the description below. Now let's talk about redefining recovery, speaking of which. So here's the deal. When families start this process, the goal is almost always, we just want symptoms to stop. And that is completely understandable. And after all, why wouldn't you, right? Because that is what the medical system trains you to believe. And this happens especially if you have worked in the medical system. And I get this all the time with practically every family I've worked with when they start working with me. You get test after test after test. Everything is normal, and then someone says it's FND. You just need to manage the symptoms because this is permanent or chronic or forever, or this is trauma, all of that stuff. And that's the problem. The traditional medical model treats FND like something completely different, like something to cope with instead of something to retrain to actually get better, or something that this is all psychological and you need a talk therapist, right? It literally focuses on controlling symptoms, not on brain-body communication. And as long as you're managing symptoms instead of rebuilding the foundation and function, you are guaranteed to stay stuck in the same loop of helplessness island. How do I know that? Well, because that's exactly where I was. Traditional, conventional medical settings for years after years, until I realized that is not how to actually help get these teens' lives back. But the recovery does not start when symptoms disappear either. It starts when your teen starts doing life again, calmly, confidently, and consistently, while the brain and body are still learning to communicate properly. So it's going to be choppy and messy in the beginning, but that is what the real retraining looks like, just like anything else you're learning new. Now let's talk about why this managing symptoms model fails. Managing symptoms literally focuses on avoidance and comfort, if you can imagine that. So things like doing less to prevent flares. So let's make sure to prevent flares. So let's not do this. Well, let's not do that. Let's have my teen sleep in. We can't send our child to school because it's gonna flare up. So basically staying still to feel safe. But here's the deal. The nervous system does not learn safety by avoiding life. It learns safety through living it. So when you teach your brain that every movement, every sensation, every emotion is dangerous, therefore this is not good, then you're basically reinforcing that miscommunication to begin with. And that is called perpetuating factors for FND. That is not the reason why your child is having FND, but it's definitely not the reason why your child is getting better. Basically, you teach the system that safety only exists in stillness. And that's why recovery does not happen through management. It happens through retraining. The brain has to learn new signals, not just avoid old ones. At Teen FND Academy, we don't manage FND, we retraining it, literally. That's how families get lasting change through my program. So this is what the real progress looks like. Progress does not always look like fewer symptoms. As I mentioned, it looks like greater control. So what does that mean? Let me tell you a little bit more. It looks like standing on a little bit longer, walking maybe a little bit further down, maybe bouncing back faster after an episode. It looks like committing yourself to going back to school with or without FND, or laughing with friends with or without FND, or traveling again. It looks like calm in the middle of chaos, which is confidence returning. Those are the signs that the brain-body communication is actually improving, even though it doesn't smell like it. That is a real progress though. It's not perfection, because remember, it's messy and it's rough, but the progress with purpose. That's really what that means. So when the brain learns that you can live safely again, the symptoms gradually lose their power. And that's why we measure success by function, not by flare-ups, because in a weird way, it doesn't matter. Now, parents, let's talk about how to reinforce this mindset. Because if you're a parent, your calm leadership is part of your teen's recovery, whether you like it or not. So when you panic, your brain and your teen's brain hears danger. However, when you stay steady, the brain learns safety. And this is why parents are required to be part of my program, Teen FND Academy, because parents also need to learn exactly how to be calm through this whole process. So instead of asking something like, why did this happen again? Try saying, hey, it's okay. This is just your brain practicing. So let's remind it that you're safe. That shift from frustration and panic to retraining with confidence and calm changes everything. It doesn't seem that much, but it's a super powerful thing because you're no longer reacting to symptoms. You're literally guiding recovery. So celebrate function. Notice how quickly your teen rebounds. This is a sign of resilience. And measure progress by courage, not by comfort. And that is what rewires the system, whether you like it or not. So this is for teens. What real recovery literally feels like for you. So if you're a teen with FND, recovery does not feel perfect, all right? For those who are high achieving, perfectionistic, listen carefully because there are so many of them in my program. It feels like your brain starts listening a little bit more. So it doesn't feel perfect, but it feels possible. Your body starts cooperating and coordinating a little bit better. You start trusting yourself again. You're still having symptoms sometimes, but they are not going to define you anymore because recovery is not the absence of symptoms. As I say all the time, it is a return of control for yourself. Now, that's the power. That's the freedom. That's the real recovery I teach in my program, Teen FND Academy. So here's the takeaway. Recovery from FND is not, once again, about managing symptoms. It is about retraining communication between the brain and the body. It is about restoring function, rebuilding confidence, and returning to life again. So if you're still stuck on, but my symptoms, ask yourself, do you actually want to get better? So what is really important, right? The conventional manage and cope model teaches people to live very small and smaller. The retraining model, on the other hand, teaches people to live free. So you don't have to wait for perfect conditions, right? You don't have to wait for a symptom-free day either. The recovery begins the moment you start practicing function with calm, consistency, and courage, even though it's a little bit at a time. And that is exactly what we teach every day inside Teen FND Academy. If you want to see how my full program of Teen FND Academy works and how it's helping families resolve FND for real, then watch the video linked in the description box below. Remember, you're not broken. You're not a bad parent, right? Your brain and the body can learn, and so can your team. And you can do this all together as a team. So you don't have to do this again alone. Well, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next video.